Well, a good Friday. Thank you for tuning in to the Gardener's Corner program. A Friday feature here on TV Channel 10, located on Charter Communications Channel 191. My name is Rob Hall. We welcome you into the program. Also heard on WKRX 96.7 FM. Brought to you today by T.G. Brooks Company, Sandling Golf Cars, and Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip.
Good stuff.
We're welcome to have and glad to have and want to make welcome Mr. Gary Cross of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, where he serves as the crops agent for both Person and Granville counties. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Rob. Are you doing well this morning?
Doing all right. I can't believe the weather. Let me ask Kilby a question. I see it's a line on hold. Is that for us? Okay. All right. Maybe you can check that out for us. We have a little way of doing the Gardener's Corner program here, that if it's a call on hold, it's for us. And so just want to confirm that they're not wanting to speak with someone else. But anyway, the motto of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service is empowering people and providing solutions. And several things going on, but it is a call for us, so let's jump right in. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Gardener's Corner program.
Yes, sir. I got a question on crepe myrtles. How do you trim them? Cut them back? Do you go below the new growth, or you cut them way back? Tell me what to do.
That has to do with where the tree is in height. If they're great big trees, if they're small trees, you want to cut the ones that are, how do I want to say, non-competitive or whatever. Those are the types you need to trim back. But who you really need to call is John Coley, our horticulture agent. I'm the crops agent. And you can call us up at the extension office at
336-599-1195. And Johnny would be your best bet to find out about, how to cut back your crepe myrtles. Sorry that I don't know, and I should know.
Well, I mean, it has to do with where they're at, how big they are, and are they young plants? Are they older? Are they more bushed out? And John can help you with that. He's our new horticulture agent. He's been on since December. So call up there at the extension office, and he'll take care of you.
I'll do that. Certainly appreciate the information.
Hey, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Anyway, speaking of Johnny Coley, the new horticulturalist agent, he has actually got a couple of tree pruning seminars that is planned, and it's going to be one in Oxford tomorrow. That'll be February the 18th, and this demonstration will be between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., and it will be taking place at the farm and home of Kay Stark, located 6639 Horner Siding Road in Oxford. And then there will be a second seminar in Oxford, and that will be from 1 until 3, and this will be tomorrow afternoon, February the 18th, from 1 until 3, and it's actually going to be held at the Granville County Extension Office that's located 125 Oxford Outer Loop, and that is the new location of the Cooperative Extension Service office of Granville County. It's right there on the corner of the Oxford Outer Loop and Old 75. And again, that part 2 of the pruning demonstration tomorrow will be from 1 until 3. But again, tomorrow morning, 9 until 11, at 6639 Horner Siding Road. And Horner Siding Road's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, Rob, he'll have crepe myrtles out there because there's tons of them out there at the research station. So the caller who called in earlier, jump over in your car, go over there and watch John show you how to prune them.
And that will be at the extension office tomorrow afternoon from 1 until 3. And then the Person County Pruning Seminar It's going to be a week from tomorrow. It will be February 25th there at the residence of Ken Medlin, and that's 91 Daisy Lane in Hurdle Mills. And the demonstration will be from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And the demonstration for Person County that's on February the 25th will include general pruning instructions and demonstrations on a variety of fruiting plants, including blackberries, blueberries, grapes, peach trees, and apple trees. And if you need more information on the Person County tree pruning, call 336-599-1195. Again, 336-599-1195, and that will be coming up on the 25th. For more information on the pruning demonstrations tomorrow in Oxford, call 919-603-1350. That's 919-603-1350. Something else I'll make mention of. I had several things I wanted to pass along to you, and Gary's got some stuff that he wants to pass along with you before we kind of get into the topic at hand. In Granville County this afternoon in Oxford at Southern States will be a horse Coggins clinic between 2 and 4 this afternoon. And then they will also have a Coggins clinic at Southern States in Oxford tomorrow morning. And then they will have one the following Saturday. So if you need to get your vaccinations in Coggins for your horses in Oxford, today at Southern States 2 until 4, also tomorrow at Southern States, and then the following Saturday at Southern States. Not real sure the Saturday hours, but you can call 919-603-1350 for more information. And it's going to be a horse Coggins and vaccination clinic here in Roxborough tomorrow, Saturday, February the 18th. The address, 1296 Old Allensville Road. It's actually across from 1296 Old Allensville Road. The time of the Person County Coggins and vaccination clinic for horses will be between 11 and 1 o'clock. So,
Rob, I got a question. People need to realize, and you know this, having horses, you and your family, that you have to have these papers to trail ride anywhere.
that's right. You have to have the proof of a negative Coggins whenever you transport your horses, whether you're going to a show, a trail ride, or pretty much wherever you plan to transport your horse. And a Coggins is only good for 12 months. And I've been told that if you are transporting a horse, that it's several state agencies that has the right to stop you just to verify if you have your Coggins papers with you. Now, and also, if you attend a horse show or a trail ride and you do not have your Coggins papers in your possession, you're not supposed to be allowed on the property. And I have been told that if you do attend an event and you do not have the Coggins papers in your possession, and if you cannot produce them, that it is a possibility, if the state veterinarian should show up on the scene, that he can fine the horse owner plus the promoter of the event a fine.
Correct.
So it's serious business, and a lot of people take advantage of these Coggins clinics because they'll have a veterinarian at a central location to where you can trailer your horse in, and you won't have to pay a trip fee for the veterinarian. And it's also a good opportunity to more or less meet new and other horse owners. And you can also, ask the vet, questions. He may not have a lot of time, or she may not have a lot of time, depending on how busy the clinic is. But it's kind of a good way to maybe make some friends and do a little bit of networking, so to speak. But if you get the opportunity, today in Oxford, 2 until 4, and tomorrow morning at Southern States in Oxford, and also tomorrow here in Roxborough, the Coggins and Vaccination Clinic off of Old Allensville Road at 1296.
Rob, they do vaccinations too.
Yes.
You're not just doing a Coggins test. If you need some vaccinations, they'll do vaccinations for
That's
you.
right. And as the horse owner, you have the right to choose. A lot of people only gets the Coggins, but the West Nile virus vaccination is very important. We also give our horses the rabies vaccinations, and it's about 4 or 5 different vaccinations that we give our horses. And one thing I would strongly suggest, if you have never gave your horse a shot for strangles, by all means, this is something that you should consider, whether you're taking your horse to other places or having other horses come on your farm. If you've never, vaccinated your horse for strangles, this is something that you should consider.
So, Rob, if I'm going to, like an event where I do rodeo issues, or I'm going out to do, a lot of people do that for fun, and, maybe a sponsor event may not, you still have to have
That's right.
your Coggins.
That's right. You sure do. It's a state law. It sure is. Something else I'll make mention of, and then I'll turn it over to Gary. He's got several announcements he wants to pass along. The Corn Growers Association of North Carolina, the corn referendum voting day will be Wednesday, February 22nd, and that will actually be next Wednesday. The Corn Growers Association of North Carolina supports efforts to prevent unnecessary regulations to provide better market and production opportunities for growers, fund research, and extension. And if you are a corn grower, and when we say corn growers, we're not talking about sweet corn, we're talking about field corn. Some people call it dimple corn.
Field for grain. Corn
For grain. That's right, corn grain. Make sure that you get out and vote on Wednesday, February 22nd, and you just go to your local Cooperative Extension Service office, and they will be there, normal business hours, and you can cast your vote for the corn referendum.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
People don't realize out here what that has done to help the American economy. That referendum has helped with ethanol issues. Ethanol's probably taken place at 25% oil out here in the United States in the last 30 to 40 years. They do a lot of research to increase productivity to feed more people and more efficiently in this country. They do marketing promotion for overseas, for countries to be buying from our country. They do a magnificent job. A lot of the newspaper ink that you have made out of corn, there's a lot of products made out of corn, plastic. A lot of these little plastic deals you put in packaging is made out of corn. There's just been a lot of things that came from these referendums that have benefited the American people in Person County without them really knowing about it. And the monies that they assess, it's an assessment, goes for research projects to increase efficiency, increase marketing, increase productivity, and issues that benefit North Carolina corn farmers and consumers.
So it's really important. So again, if you are someone that raises field corn, you are eligible to vote and get out and vote Wednesday, February 22nd. Gary, you said that you had some information that you wanted to pass along, and I know within the last couple of weeks that you have taught the, I guess, continuing education
Credits for pesticide.
for pesticide applicators. And if you're someone that is actively farming and you are in need of your pesticide license, I'm not sure what the criteria is now, but I think you have to attend a class in Raleigh. But after you receive your pesticide license, you have to attend a class and receive so many credit hours every so often to keep
Correct.
your pesticide license up to date to where you can purchase pesticides. And from what I understand, Gary, it's some big changes in a sense to 2,4-D coming along.
Yes, there
Is
is.
that correct?
That is correct. We had one meeting over in Caswell County. We've been doing regional meetings. We'll have another one in Lewisburg on March 3rd. With a lot of the issues that have been coming up with 2,4-D and the handling and the volatility and all those issues that have been discussed and what people have read in the papers from southern Missouri and other places. If you you can buy the beans. There's not a problem with you buying the beans, but you have to go to one of the classes. We held one over there, had about 100 people at that one, 100 producers. We're having another one again at Lewisburg March 3rd. You have to attend this class. Plus you get 2x credits on your private applicator recertification, which is good. And if you go to that class and get those, it's an endorsement on your license, you will be eligible to buy the chemical. If you do not have that, go attend that class and do not have that endorsement on your license, or you haven't just been to that class, you've got to have that. They will not sell you the product, and they'll be doing audits on these to see if people are doing it. Some of the issues that they came up with were people were just grabbing certain types of those 2,4-D type products and just spraying it on, and it wasn't a labeled issue. These are packaged products. The seed and the chemical go together, and the label is specific on these issues. So you're going to have to go by what that label says in relation to these products.
Now, is this for soybean growers?
This is for soybean, for cotton. If you're down further south, Texas and North Carolina, south and east, they will have some of those products. You have 2 or 3 different companies that are doing it, and one has a larger release than the other, and they're different formulations of 2,4-D, and farmers just going to have to make the decision on what they want to do in respect to that. But there is, there's specific issues that labels want you to follow and want you to be aware of when putting this chemical on. Because, if you're putting it on and the wind speed's 30 miles an hour, you're liable to have some issues of it floating off somewhere. If it's extraordinarily humid and a little bit of wind, you may have a temperature inversion issue that takes it out of that field and takes it to another field next to it, and that could be a tobacco field, that could be strawberries, that could be Rob Hall's trees, which we don't want that. It could be lots of different things, and that's some of the problems they had down in the Boot Hill, Missouri, and some of these other places. So, if you get an opportunity March 3rd, and you're thinking about you got some weedy fields and you want to use these products, now a lot of them have Roundup resistance in them, so you got the Roundup product also. You can still spray Roundup, but you must have the endorsement to spray the 2,4-D products that those companies sell, not something you drag off of a shelf or off of a garden shelf at a store. It's specifically the product that these companies are selling that has to match the soybean. So,
well, Gary, I think you make a really good point there. When you talk about, the air inversion, something that pretty much has always been suggested on the program, that you shouldn't spray herbicides when it's over 85 degrees, because this air inversion can happen. and pretty much these chemicals can float in the air for a long ways. And for those of you that are listening that maybe is not aware of 2,4-D, 2,4-D is the active ingredient in a lot of chemicals that is used for killing weeds. Now, when you spray Roundup, Roundup will pretty much kill just about everything, but a lot of people on grass fields and also in field crops, they spray 2,4-D to kill the weeds. And you know, we've all heard about Roundup Ready soybeans, and pretty much what happens is the soybean seed has been genetically modified to where when it's planted, you don't have to spray any weed killer or anything. You wait till those soybeans germinate and they start growing, and whenever the farmer decides to, he can go in there and he can spray the entire field with with Roundup, spray the entire field of soybeans with Roundup, and it kills everything except the soybeans. And anyway, I think the company is Monsanto that kind of was the first ones to come up with this Roundup Ready soybean. Is that right, Gary?
They are, and they're also involved in the 2,4-D soybean issue. If you'd normally spray soybeans with 2,4-D, you would kill them dead as a doornail out here, because there is not a genetic trait in the soybeans out there, majority of them right now, that have that. They're introducing a new product that has the 2,4-D trait in it, so you can spray the beans. It won't kill the beans, but it'll kill the pesty water hemp, and it'll kill the Palmer amaranth, which has been so common in cotton out in Texas where I was at. They'd have 160 acre pivots, solid Palmer amaranth, that they'd pay $80 or more an acre to be able to get out by hand weeding. So a lot of it's what we're coming to is a new technology because of resistance issues that we've got weeds we can't control, and different modes of actions, which are different types of chemicals, have not been able to control. And where I grew up in southern Illinois, if you have soybeans and you have Palmer amaranth, there's nothing to really kill them. You have to do it in a burn down early in the season. You might get the majority of them, but those that come up, you won't be able to kill back where I grew up at. And we're getting some of that here, and they're getting a lot of that all over the United States. And this is the reason why they introduced this technology, was to be able to get some control in that capacity. And the yields are probably about the same as everything else is out there. But it's a good product, but it has to be used wisely. It has to be used by label directions specifically, because that's the farmers' protection, and that's the companies and the states and the federal government, because that's kind of a contract with everybody. The label is, so you have to go by the label.
You know, and I think in the ag industry, they're kind of faced with some of the similar challenges as the medical health industry is, and relating the two together. Just over the years, you know, certain weeds build up a resistance to certain chemicals, just like, you know, the body sometimes, you know, whenever you're sick, the doctor prescribes antibiotics. Well, you hear more and more about the immunity of these viruses and things that are building up a resistance to, you know, antibiotics. It used to be penicillin would take care of just about anything, but it's far from that now. And, you know, I know medical doctors suggest don't take antibiotics no more than you have to, because the more you take them, the more you're building up an immunity to the antibiotic. And you would like to think that you're making your body stronger to fight off different viruses or infections, but you're really, opening the door up a little bit wider, inviting other viruses and things in. And I think it's pretty much the same way when you start talking about weed control, and weed control to a crop is about like having a virus in your body. You just can't produce the amount of energy and produce the amount of bushels per acre or poundage per acre in a field that is infested with weeds. And so that's why it's really important to have good weed control.
That's very good. Again, that meeting will be March 3rd from 9 to 11 at the Lewisburg County Extension Office. We're doing regional meetings. That'll be a 5-county regional meeting over there, like we were a 4 or 5-county regional meeting over in Caswell County. So also February 21st, which is this Tuesday, we're having a small grains meeting again regionally. Lewisburg got picked just because that's how we do things. I usually do the GAP trainings in January in Oxford. But we're going to do that again on February 21st. We're going to talk about small grains. We're going to talk about corn, soybeans, production, and variety information. And that's from 4 to 6 this next Tuesday on the 21st at the Lewisburg Annex. Call in. There's still room. We'd like to have you come on over and learn about all 3 of those subjects and the new updates in them. Also, we'll be having a V safety training for private applicator, which is a requirement, mainly VNX for private applicator, on February 28th at the Oxford Granville County Extension in Oxford from 5 to 7. Come on by. You don't have to register. Just show up and get your credits in that capacity. I have in the distance, if I can, Rob, in April, a field tour on malt barley wheat nitrogen studies, malt barley nitrogen studies, fungicide trials at the Umstead Research Farm in Butner on April 21st, and that'll be in the morning from 10 till noon. And we'd like to have you come over to that if you're interested in malt barley issues. We've got a replicated trial on that, and we've got all different types of nitrogen studies and fungicides and projects that we've put together in that capacity. So that about gets me done.
All right. Well, Gary, with all of these different events and classes and seminars going on, is it any particular website that you are aware of that people could log on to?
Yeah, you can go to the Person County and or Granville County. Just Google Person County Extension or Granville County Extension. You can get that information on the website. Just Google those, either one of those, and you can get that and get information. And you can call our office, either place, and we'll get you in on those meetings. Usually we don't have in the agriculture part of it, a limit. We usually do, anybody that wants to come on by.
Okay.
Be glad to have you.
The Person County Cooperative Extension Service Office, 336-599-1195. The Granville County Office, 919-603-1350. And that seminar that's coming up on March 3rd in Lewisburg, if you are a soybean grower or cotton grower, and if you hadn't already attended this seminar, in the past, you need to go ahead and try to be there for that. You sure do. We're going to take a break, and we'll get a word on for Our Pride Foods. No matter the time of the year or the season, whether you're going to have it as a meal or as a snack, you can't go wrong with the Our Pride pimento cheese spread and dip. One of the guys here at the radio station says he enjoys it with eggs.
Wow.
I like
Sounds
it just
good.
pretty much where you can, whether it's on a piece of bread or on a
Crackers.
chip or a cracker. Hey, it's good. So let's get a word on for Our Pride Foods.
goodness grows in North Carolina, and our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip is made locally in Roxborough. Pick up some for yourself and enjoy. You can get the Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese regular, or for extra flavor, try the jalapeno added. Get some for yourself at T.G. Brooks Company, Supply Line Discounts, North Main IGA, Hurdle Mills Market and Butcher Shop, Twins Meat Market, Food Line, or just Save. Or if you're in Uptown Roxbury and get the hankering for some Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip, you can enjoy it at Cole's Pharmacy, Trish's Espresso, and Snappy's Cafe. That's Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip. Whether you're having it for a meal or a snack, it's good.
It's good. It sure is. That
Betcha.
Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip. You know, Gary, here it is, pretty much just a little bit over halfway through the month of February. The weather that we've been having last weekend and this weekend is some beautiful weather. It's a good time to maybe get out in the yard or maybe start getting out in the field. And, you know, it looks like we may have an early spring, but, you know, just be aware that Old Man Frost is going to be looming and hanging around, and the possibilities for frost in this Piedmont area up until April the 15th, we have a 50% chance of frost. But it would be a good time for you to maybe be putting out lime on your crop fields if you're in need of lime. Hopefully you have done your soil samples, and if you need lime on your yard, it'd be a good time, which lime is something that can be put on, you know, your lawn or crop at any given time. And lime is something that you don't put it on today and see the results 2 weeks later. It takes a while for the lime to get into the soil and, you know, to bring the pH level up. And if you have a low pH level, it doesn't matter how much fertilizer you put on your lawn and or field crops, you know, you're not going to do a lot of good. So you really need to have that pH level where it should be to make everything kind of coincide and work together. Now, it is a few things out there. I think maybe blueberries is something that likes a low pH, but for the most part, you need to have the soil samples done. But Gary, I've had some questions about this liquid calcium, and I've had some people to say that they've heard some information on it, that this liquid calcium can take the place of lime, and this liquid calcium is a water-soluble material, and you can actually spray it on your crops, and I think it takes maybe about 15 gallons of water mixed with this liquid calcium to equal 1 ton of lime. But
Usually, Rob, the makeup of liquid lime is 50% water, 50% of lime. So if you got 50% of it water and just half of it lime, you're only going to get a half a ton on the acre.
right,
If you're using the dry product, you're going to get a full ton on the acre. So
Right.
it's going to cost you more money to put on liquid lime because you're putting water on out there, and you have to double the rate. You keep doubling the rate to be able to get it up as high as what you would do for 1 or 2 tons of lime that you would have on the dry particle lime. And the dry particle lime also has a little bit longer staying power. I mean, the liquid lime, if you need a quick fix on something to get it up, you know, it might be a good option if you're not too worried about the expense. But when you get into an issue to where I can go out and buy 1 ton of lime and put it on cheaper than I can buy 50/50 liquid lime or liquid calcium, and it costs me more. I have to put on twice as much to be able to get the same equivalent as that dry. You might want to think about the dry issue in that capacity. If you've got something that is really low, extraordinarily acidic, and you need to put something in there, that might be a quick fix for you, but you're going to need to retest after that, because I don't know how long that calcium will stay there if it leaches. So you need to be aware, if you're going to go out and do that mainly those are used as quick fix issues, and are not, when you're using dry, what I call agricultural lime, dolomitic limestone, these are the types of issues that have longer lasting and longer staying power in dealing with the acidity issues within your soil. So that's been my experience with it, but you're right on the mixing it with water aspect. You have to have a lot of water with it, and you're putting on a lot of water and not a lot of calcium
Right.
when you do it. So you want to be able to get your money's worth in relation to that. So University of Kentucky did a lot of work on this. They had a lot of issues with liquid lime, and you need to read the label on liquid lime or liquid calcium also, because it may not be exactly what you need to put on your yard. There are different formulations of liquid lime out here. You have calcium chloride. Is that necessarily what you want out here? Probably not, but you need to be looking at what's on that label and seeing what percentage of calcium is in there, and in that relation, the State Department of Agriculture regulates all these, so they have to have a certain type of issue to be classified as lime. I know they do on the dry in most states. So just be careful, read the labels, make sure you're getting what you're paying for.
Yeah. Well, it's a product that is available through Wake County in the city of Raleigh, and it's called Raleigh Plus, and it's a lime-based product of more or less, I'm going to say, solid waste. And to just kind of give you the particulars on this Raleigh Plus product, from what I understand, if you do your soil samples and it shows that you need 1 ton of lime per acre, if you was to use this Raleigh Plus product, you would actually apply 2 tons of this product per acre to equal 1 ton of lime. I think the ratio is like 1.9 of this Raleigh Plus product versus your traditional lime. And
when you're spraying more, Rob, that means you may be making more trips across the field, which is more expense in relation to fuel and your time and the product in itself. So
yep. And sometimes it's always nice to be able to cut corners and save some money.
you bet.
But the money that you may be saving up front, in the end reward, you may be shorting yourself on
That's exactly right.
on the yield. So it's a lot to think about, and in no ways, shape, form, or fashion are we endorsing any type of product, or we're not, what you say, discouraging you from using any one particular product. We're just trying to, lay it out on the table to let you know what, information that has been made available to us about any given product. Let's get a word on for T.G. Brooks Company.
That could be a busy place this week, and if it gets 60 degrees, it's busy all the time anyway, but it's going to be really busy this weekend.
No matter the season, no matter the weather, you better believe T.G. Brooks Company in Timberlake is ready for business. They're located 411 Helena Mariah Road in Timberlake, in business since 1936.
The calendar says it's February, but But we all know that spring is not too far behind. There is time to get some sound advice in February on your spring lawn preparation at T.G. Brooks Company. They have had much experience over the years with individual homeowners as well as professional landscapers. First of all, they can tell you about the advantages of pre-emergent weed control or weed and feed. This is the time to use pre-emergent and, of course, fertilizer, lime, and weed control. This gets your lawn off to a proper start, and this spring you can be the envy of your neighborhood. To beautify your flower beds for spring, T.G. Brooks Company will be carrying hardwood as well as dyed mulches, and they will be selling it by the scoop or by the bag. And of course, you will want to remember, it'll be soon time to use popular lawn and garden chemicals, herbicides, and make plans to be sure to keep them in mind for topsoil, bulk planting soil, potting soil, cow manure, and pine needles. Yes, it's time to plan. They have the equipment you will need for sale or rent. Every kind of garden tool is available, including wheelbarrows, spreaders, power pluggers, lawn carts, and dump carts. They will be ready for you with stepping stones and wall stones, and absolutely the finest grass seed around. They will have all of your flower garden and vegetable garden supplies. When it comes to a beautiful property, rely on T.G. Brooks Company. By the way, every week, remember, they will custom cut you some hand-cut ribeyes, and you can enjoy them on your grill tonight. Person County and surrounding areas count on famous T.G. Brooks Company. 411 Helena Mariah Road in Timberlake. They have been serving since 1936. Phone them at 364-2428.
Here we are back on the Gardeners Corner program. Our guest today is Mr. Gary Cross. Gary is actually the crops agent for both Person and Granville counties. Gary, how long have you been with the Extension Service here?
3 years.
3 years. I remember not too long after you started, you were traveling around some with Mr. Carl Cantalupi,
Yes.
and he brought you out and introduced you to us here at the radio station. And hard to believe it's been 3 years, though. But nevertheless, speaking of Mr. Cantalupi, I spoke with Carl a couple of times recently, earlier this week and then one time last week, and Carl was telling me that he's going to be coming into town coming up in March, and he's going to be doing some stuff with you and the Extension Service, and so y'all kind of calling him out of retirement to come in and help out with the seminar, correct?
We are, and he's doing something with statistical analysis and showing us he's very good at statistics, very good. And he's showing us some of the different types of designs we can put together in research projects. One thing that I have quizzed him about is, Rob, he better have something to come down with, or we won't let him in North Carolina. I don't, if he can freeze roost chili or those potato chips or whatever he gives us, he's got to have something to come down here, or I'm going to be awful upset.
So it's going to be like a toll booth. So
It'll be a toll booth starting at the Oxford Extension office. Carl, if you watch this this weekend, which I'm told you do, there will be a toll. Potato chips, roost chili.
Yeah, I must say Carl has, spoiled us over the years. From time to time, Carl would bring in stuff here to the radio station. A lot of times, he would have his lovely wife, Ruth, to make some different little sweet treats and things and bring them in to the radio station. And I'm sure that Gary has tried a lot of other things that Ruth has
Spaghetti,
prepared.
pot pie.
But anyway, looking forward, and I was going to try to work it out for maybe Carl to be on the show while he was in town, but with his schedule and everything, it doesn't look like it's going to work out. Things may change, but anyway, hope I'll be able to, at least get to see him and Ruth and spend a little time with them. And Carl's a good guy, and of course we were, sad to see him leave, but don't blame him for wanting to retire. Although when I did talk with him a few weeks ago, I think they had about 6 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, he was shoveling snow or using his snow blower. Rob, I want to ask again. I know you're limited on time, but this Coggins thing, that clinics that you brought up earlier, how important? I know Paul's talked about it. How important this is to get to one of these Coggins clinics, because it's going to be beautiful weather.
Yeah.
People's going to want to ride horses. You've been a horse person since you were a young boy. You're still a young boy, young man, but you understand that this is serious, and most owners understand these issues. But again, you may want to emphasize, as a person that's owned horses, the importance of this.
Well, Gary, as we were talking off camera a little while ago, I really think that it comes down to being a more or less responsible owner of horses, and also with any type of animal that you own, whether it's cows, goats, sheep, dogs, or cats. You need to be a responsible owner, and owning animals is an investment. And what I mean by that, you don't get any more out of it than you put in it, and it's expensive to own animals anyway. And you want that animal to have longevity and have a healthy life. And a lot of people looks at vaccinations and things as being an extra expense, and which it is, but it's something very important. And the downside to it is, if you have a horse, or it may be a cow, that comes up with some type of sickness or disease, and you kind of look back on it and say, well, if I would have vaccinated my animals for this is a problem that I wouldn't be faced with. And like with cattle, we was talking with Paul Westfall several weeks ago, and we was talking about black leg. So go ahead and spend a little extra money, and keep all of your livestock updated on vaccinations and things, and you'll be far ahead of the ball game in headaches and heartaches. Now, all of these vaccines and everything is not 100% guarantee, but it also helps. And like one vaccination we give our horses is a flu shot.
Sure.
Now, a lot of people don't take the flu shot themselves, but I do, and I've heard people say, well, I took the flu shot and I still got the flu. Well, that is cases, but it has been shown to where if you do immunize yourself, that if and when you do have the flu, the symptoms won't be quite severe. And, as well as I do, the flu virus can be deadly in some people. So I feel like protecting our horses too.
Question I have for you. Here I am. I've got, let's say I pull up, or I've got kids. I'm wanting to do a trail ride. I come out. You guys do a trail ride. Everybody, there's lots of trail rides out here in the state of North Carolina and Virginia, tons of them. And I don't have this Coggins. What can happen if I pull up there, with my family, and I don't have Coggins? And they're sponsoring a trail. There's a sponsored trail ride out here. What can happen if they don't have it?
You're going to turn around and leave, because you're not going to be granted the pleasure of entering without your negative Coggins papers. And as you're turning around and leaving, you're going to be accompanied by a disappointed family. And so go ahead, and if you're planning to attend any events or anything, make sure on your horses and equine, whether it's a mule or donkey or henny, or a horse, you need to make sure you got those negative Coggins.
Rob, I had a guy call in for the Coggins clinic over in Oxford the other day, and he talked to me He goes, well, I've got he goes, I got 3 horses, but I'm just wanting to have 2 Coggins. I said, well, you sure if something happens to one of them that you might not use that 3rd horse? He got to thinking. He goes, yeah, I need to have 3 horses to bring to the clinic. And you need to think like that, because he thought right on it, because if you have one horse that something happens, you have that other one, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, if you've got them all together, you need to get them all vaccinated and have the Coggins. All right, we're going to get a word on for Sandling Golf Cars.
Al, Hillary, and Will invite you to come see them at Sandling Golf Cars. If you're in the market for a golf car, a utility trailer, or a Wilmington grill, come on to Oxford and stop in at 613 Lewis Street, and there you will find Sandling Golf Cars. They're open for business weekdays 8 until 5, Saturdays 9 until 1. Visit the website sandlinggolfcars.com or call 919-693-4626, toll free 1-800-221-9267. Financing is available at Sandling Golf Cars. If you're in need of parts or repair on your golf cars, see Dennis and Bradley. Whether you're wanting new tires or new Trojan batteries, they've got it at Sandling Golf Cars, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. If you're in the market for a trailer, they have everything from a tow dolly to open body utility trailers, equipment trailers, stock trailers, enclosed trailers. The list goes on. Stop in and see the friendly people at Sandling Golf Cars, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. Call 919-693-4626 or toll free 1-800-221-9267. The name again, Sandling Golf Cars, located 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. Stop in and see them for all of your golf car needs. Utility trailers and Wilmington grills. That's Sandling Golf Cars, open weekdays 8 until 5, Saturdays 9 until 1. Call 919-693-4626 or toll free 1-800-221-9267. That name one more time, Sandling Golf Cars.
Here we are back on the Garden Corner program, and tell you what, Gary, the time has just flew away. So with that, we want to say thanks to Sandling Golf Cars, Owl Pride Foods, and T.G. Brooks Company for sponsoring the program. Special thanks to Mr. Gary Cross
Thank you.
of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service for coming out, being with us today. And if you have any questions for Gary, call 336-599-1195, or you can call 919-603-1350. And if you're interested in some of the seminars coming up pertaining to 2,4-D, contact Gary, and he can email you more information. So with that, on behalf of myself, Rob Hall, and everyone here at the radio station, we want to wish you and yours a happy and safe weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week for another edition of the Gardener's Corner program here on TV Channel 10 and WKRX.